I'm Chloe, and that's Jordan. We're setting out on a journey to travel to all 196 countries and be the fastest couple to ever do it. As we attempt to break this world record, we want you to join us. We are counting countries.
I'm Chloe.
I'm Jordan.
And we're counting countries.
Handshake. We don't have an intro. We just made that up.
I don't really think we'll ever need one, but if anyone has any suggestions with how we're supposed to open this,
Let us know.
we'd love it.
Okay, we launched our video last week and we had so many questions and we're so excited to answer them because these are all the questions that we had when we came up with this idea.
The first one, who are we?
My name is Jordan. I grew up in Utah. I'm 27 years old. I grew up traveling all the time. I'm an adrenaline junkie. I love doing crazy things. She doesn't like that very much. But I went to BYU, studied economics, and I think that's it.
My name's Chloe. I was born and raised in Vegas. My family, they were more homebodies, so we didn't travel as much, but I always wished we had. When we met, when we talked about our love of travel, I knew that it would work out because that's all I wanted to do when we got married. I'm 24. Our birthdays are both in June, so we'll be aging up a year this June. And I went to UVU and studied criminal justice.
Next question. When did you get married and how did you meet?
We met in New York. We were both working out
She
there.
always tells the story because she hates when I tell it.
Because you don't make it sound as epic. We grew up one state apart, but we both moved to New York for work. And I was living on the east side, he was living on the west side. We had really no reason to meet except for we both happened to go to the same institute class, which is a church college class. And when I walked in, I saw Jordan and I said, "That's my husband."
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
You can't claim a husband.
That's what I told myself after. I was like, you can't claim somebody, but I did. So we dated for a year. And then when we get married?
July.
Stop.
I'm just kidding. July 1st, 2016. I would never forget.
And where'd we get married?
She'd kill me. Provo City Center Temple. When and where do you start? So we are starting the end of May. We are starting in Italy.
Yes. What's the current record and how fast are you going to travel to all of the countries? Current record is 3 years and 96 days.
And how fast are we going to do it? We have a plan, but we're not going to tell you. We're going to beat that.
The average amount of days we'll spend in each country is between like 5 and 6.
Yep, 5 to 7 days in
Except
each country.
for there's 2 countries that each get 2 weeks.
Yep.
Because they're our favorites. What made you decide to rush it? Why be the fastest and how will you soak it all in?
Okay, this is a good question because we do not feel like we're rushing it. We have 5 to 7 days in each country, and there are a lot of countries that are smaller that we're going to spend less time in, so we have more time in countries that we want to be in.
And why be the fastest? When we were looking into the epicness of this trip, we wanted something that went with our competitive nature. And that's when Jordan looked into the Guinness World Record, because that's just how we are. We want a title out of it. We thought it would be cool, make it a little more interesting.
Absolutely. And how will you soak it in? That's the biggest part of this trip for us. We want to get to know the cultures of where we're going. We want to do service in all the countries we go to and meet the people and be among the people and eat authentic food. And so that's what we're really looking forward to the most.
How are we funding it? This was the number one question we got asked.
Everyone wants to know the answer to this. And we inherited a huge sum of money, right?
Yeah, just millions, really.
No, we didn't. I wish. We've been saving up for the last year is the first way that we're funding this.
We have a dual income. So I think if you're a traveling couple, I think it's really important to make sure that you both have jobs that bring in money, because we were able to make sure that we lived within our means with Jordan's salary and be able to save some from that, as well as taking my entire paycheck and putting it into our savings.
And we're just pretty frugal people in general. We don't spend a lot of money. People are usually shocked when they travel with us how little we spend. We always find a good flight deal. We always find a good hotel deal.
The second way is we are doing summer sales. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of that, but it's a really good way to work hard and earn the money that you work for.
And this is something I've done in the past and made a lot of money really quickly doing. And so Chloe's gonna join me this summer, and we're gonna get some extra cash before we leave.
If you're like us and you love to travel, to be able to sacrifice a few months to earn some hard-earned cash, this is the way to do it, is with summer sales.
And then the third way is we are partnering with brands.
We've got a few brands on board. We've been really picky with who we work with. We want to work with good people, good products, things that'll last long, and I think we found a few really good ones.
And we're also still looking for a nonprofit to work with. I mentioned before, but this trip is going to be very service oriented. We want to help the communities that we go to. We want to provide service, and we would love to partner with a really good nonprofit company to do so. Are you going to countries you've already been to?
Yes, we have to.
We're starting over. We're going to every country.
Once the clock starts, that's when we have to go to all 196 countries. And the clock will start as soon as we land in Italy.
Which countries are you looking forward to the most? This is a good question. What are your countries you're looking forward to the most?
Like top 3?
Yeah, top 3.
I would say Australia, New Zealand, and Ireland.
Mine are China, number 1, because I speak Chinese. We're gonna go all over China. We're gonna be there for probably about 2 weeks. And then Croatia and Serbia are 2 that I'm really looking forward to, that are really beautiful.
Are you going to be posting YouTube videos, and if so, when?
Yes.
We'll be posting while we travel every Sunday. That's the goal. We understand things might change, but that's definitely the goal.
Yep, we'll have a weekly YouTube video, we're gonna have a podcast from every country, and we'll also be posting on Instagram as well, so there'll be plenty of ways to see our beautiful faces.
And hear our beautiful voices. The point of the podcast for us really is because Jord and I aren't the greatest at keeping journals, but we know that this would be a good way to keep like our oral history for our posterity.
Okay, this is a good question. How will you visit the more hostile countries? This is probably our second most asked question that we got. There are a couple parts to this that we want to answer. Number 1, we're going to be smart. There obviously are countries that are dangerous to go to, and we will do whatever is necessary to stay safe. Dress as the locals, we'll have a tour guide. We're not going to be dumb in these countries.
Yeah, we got a lot of questions, a ton actually, about are you going to North Korea? And these are all possible countries to get into. One big thing for me, especially since I'm a woman, is traveling seems dangerous sometimes. And that's something I want to break. I want to break the stereotype that countries are as dangerous as we think they are. Or maybe they're going to prove me right, but at the same time, I just feel like every country deserves a chance.
Yeah, I read a quote that said, "Don't define a country by its government." Obviously, there are a lot of corrupt governments out there, but we believe there are good people in every country, and we want to show that some of these countries really are not as dangerous as people think they are.
Well, not a question, a statement. It said, let's meet up.
Yes.
We would love that. So whether you're in the US and you want to travel and you see we're going somewhere, contact us. Send us an email through our website. That's probably the best way to make sure that we see it. And then if you live in a country,
let us know. Yeah, we love meeting up with people. We love doing things that only locals know about, so please let us know.
How many bags are you bringing and what are your necessities?
We're both gonna have a backpack and a carry-on.
We found backpacks already that we love that will hold all of our gadgets, really. That was a big issue for us. Cameras are big, drones are big, so we want to make sure we had something really good for that. We don't have a carry-on yet, but that's because we're debating between hard, soft, the ones with batteries now. I don't know, there's so many, you can even ride them. But if anyone has any recommendations for something really good to travel with that's durable and sturdy, that'll last us a long time, we'd love your recommendations.
For sure. And other travel necessities, we'll post a video on later on with the gear we're gonna be bringing.
People were asking about my autoimmune disease. The whole thing's crazy. It's still going through a lot of testing. Somebody asked like how I'd travel with it. I've been traveling with it for a while. I guess most of my symptoms started showing up about 4 years ago. So I've been living with it for a while. It's just been hard and I felt a little crazy at times. But luckily with modern medicine, we're gonna be able to handle it really well.
What are you gonna do about visas? That's a great question. A lot of countries nowadays, you can apply for your visas online. There are a few countries that require you to be in person, so we're probably gonna make a trip back to the States at some point to apply for some of those visas.
This is a good question, and this is why it's our last question. We got asked what/who inspired you to take this journey? I think we have two different answers, so you go first.
I've always been someone that loves to do crazy epic things. I've always wanted to see all 7 wonders of the world. I want to go to every continent. I want to go to the North and South Pole. That's just kind of who I am. So I took a job where we were supposed to move to Europe and then move to Asia afterwards. Long story short, it didn't end up working out. We got really bummed. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, how do we do something even more epic than moving to Europe and traveling all over? So the thought crossed my mind, well, we could go to every country in the world. That'd be more epic.
Mind you, he told me this on a road trip. I was asleep and I woke up and he's like, as soon as you're fully awake, I need to tell you something.
She liked the idea
Yeah,
at first.
I was in, totally down. I didn't know how realistic it was, but I thought it was a great idea.
But I started planning immediately, budgeting, seeing if it was possible, how many people had done it. And when I realized it was absolutely possible, I looked up the world record for it, saw that we could definitely beat that. And there we go. We had a plan on our hands and I was inspired. I was ready to go. That's kind of where my inspiration came from.
For me, I kind of always grew up hoping that I would be the friend or the sister or the aunt who lived abroad. But when we were told that we weren't moving to Europe anymore, I was bummed. And so with this plan, I was totally down. It seemed hard. And so I won't lie, the bucket list family totally inspired me to do hard things. I knew that they got through it with kids, which I think is 100 times harder than what we're doing. And so because of them, I just knew that I was capable of doing that. Where Jordan's an adrenaline junkie and he loves that kind of stuff, I'm definitely more on the safer side of things. I like reading and painting and watching Netflix. And as much as I love adventures, I just don't like being in danger. Jordan's really brought out that side in me. I think my inspiration is a little bit of me, a lot of bit of the bucket list family.
So I hope we answered all the questions that everyone had. If you have more, message us, let us know. We're so excited to start this and share all of these moments with everyone.
Thank you all so much for watching our launch, for watching this video. We will see you soon.
Until next time.